Amorim out, na?
AMORIM out, yes.
Out with that guy, that fraud.
How this has changed in 1 year.
Just because he's Portuguese doesn't mean I will give him latitude.
By the way, all of Al Nassr is just scoring for Portugal now.
All Portugal.
Yeah, it's Al Portu. It is.
In the meantime, I want to ask you guys this. Did you hear the news of Neymar getting 800 million from an unnamed billionaire?
Neymar.
Neymar. Of all the schemes I've seen of turning black money white, this is the more innovative. What a great idea. You just route it through an unnamed billionaire and kill off that guy. Kya baat hai? Sister's party deposit. Ladli Bahan. He should have done a Ladli Bahan Neymar edition.
Yeah, it fits perfectly. I can just see him on the poster also outside the Achanak Mitra Mandal.
I saw one thread on Twitter which was about Tony Bloom, who is the Brighton, the owner of Brighton, and the fact that he was a gambler and he made his money and then he used probability to he basically moneyballed Brighton. And I thought it was a great story. And
he has a book of basically every position he has upcoming players and other stuff. So he's like, I don't care if we sell people. I already have replacement chalked out for those.
Dude, it's
That's
just me and Tony Bloom out there.
Yeah, I'm sure they have quotas of this player should play 2000 minutes, 2500, maximum sell window planning.
Yeah.
Because randomly Brighton will bench. Buonanotte is now at Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, half of Brighton ends up at Chelsea. Kya scam chal raha hai? I genuinely want to know. Ye asli money laundering hai.
They need to poach Tony Bloom on an 8-year contract. Is what they need.
Or just steal that book, no? That book will have everything.
Yeah.
They don't let the players bloom at all. At the basic flowering stage, they are sent. The entire pot is sent on loan.
Tony Bud.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Just last minute in Fergie time, Neil has arrived to add chaos into the mix.
Oof.
We'll begin once Neil shows his face.
So it looks like me and Kunal are the only AMORIM in one.
Neil has come prepped, guys.
Okay. Yes, Neil is here.
Neil
Let's
has come
go.
prepped.
Amazing. Look at him.
It's come with Chelsea and all.
With heritage.
Whoever is debating against Neil, please be warned. You are less prepared. Okay, so firstly, everybody, before we start, just quickly, I just want to know. Okay, everyone who's AMORIM in, can you please raise your hands on Zoom? AMORIM in. AMORIM inners. Another AMORIM. So, Asamudra. Am I getting this right? Okay. Jacob, Rohit, and Kunal. All right, we have 4. And AMORIM outers are Sachin Deo, Neil, Utkarsh, I'm assuming. And Azim.
I mean, I am AMORIM do better.
On the fence.
I'm on the fence.
Yeah, I think all of us, I don't think anyone over here wants AMORIM to fail. Being a United fan, I don't think anyone wants that.
But we need drama for clicks.
But Neil, now that he has failed, should we let him continue failing? That is the question that we have on our hands today. Okay.
Correct.
Azim, are we recording or should we start?
We are recording. I will just admit one more person into the waiting room. And then we can, from the waiting room. Okay, chalo, let's go.
All right. So,
sorry, just quickly wanted to clarify since Vedant is here. Vedant, can you clarify if you are AMORIM in, out, maybe let us know. And so we have.
I am AMORIM out.
AMORIM out, come on, let's go. So 3 AMORIM, 3 AMORIM outs, and 1 neutral party. Okay, great.
And 1 City fan who will speak at the end to decide. Okay. All right. So here's basically how it's going to work. I will first just ask for each of you to give your views in a sentence. Okay, or a sentence or 2. So wherever you stand on it, just give us your position in a sentence or 2 so that we know, where you stand. And then obviously we'll open it up for a bigger debate. The understanding obviously is that nobody wants Ruben Amorim to fail. Everyone wants United to succeed because this is a debate by United fans about the situation, the precarious situation that United finds itself in right now. Right. So the question really is that having seen in like a bunch of Amorim's games and tactics, at this point, do you think he's the right choice to lead United to glory or not? That's where we are at. Okay. So let's start with Rohit. Rohit, can you tell us where you stand on the situation?
So I stand as like Amorim in. I always believe that you need to give the manager, back the manager. Sir Alex Ferguson said, back the manager no matter what, whatever the results are. I feel like after Sir Alex Ferguson, maybe Ole, I feel like Amorim would be the person to take United forward. Yeah, his system is a completely different system than what we have seen from United before, but I feel like there needs to be a shock to the club in order to progress. Like the club had become stagnant, so now with part owners, they are trying to do on the back end, which Amorim is trying to do in the front end.
Okay.
So he needs some time. So I don't take into consideration the last 7 months, like because he came in the
Mid-season.
state of the state of the club was bad. Like it was completely bad from a back end point of view also. So I don't consider that as his
Gotcha.
not even probation period. Like it doesn't matter. I want to judge him this season. I want to see half a season and then I'll decide whether he's the right guy or not. So right
Okay.
now I'm yeah.
Half a season. All right. Kunal, where do you stand?
I am more about the process of a new manager. A new manager should have at least one transfer window, should have 10 to 15 games with his players, influence his style of play, and sort of judge him after that. 10 to 15 games is too little in my opinion, but at least 10 to 15 games. He's also like, I think we shouldn't forget last year Ineos was still transitioning, getting their own people in. We had Ashworth come in, Ashworth go out, like all of those things
Oh
were
yeah,
happening.
forgot about that.
He did a lot of gardening at that time. So I think this is the first time we actually have a football structure. We have Amorim just coaching, not responsible for player hires, and we should kind of let it play. He may still not be the right person for the job, but that doesn't mean that you still it's just not enough data at this point.
Okay. Sachin.
I think my stand is kind of obvious from the Telegram group, but just to repeat it, I think Amorim should go. I believe that he's a problem, and I agree with some of the points that was mentioned, such as manager should be given a time and all of that. But then again, I was going back and looking at SAF's first season, Klopp's first season, and I have stats in front of me, by the way. SAF had to.
Wait, hold those stats. Hold those stats.
Okay.
We'll come to
So
those stats.
basically, my point here is that when I did a comparison against SF, against Klopp's first season, and all that, I don't really understand. I mean, where exactly we are going with this, and that's where I'm coming from. I feel like that we are just baiting on this guy, thinking one day he will come good, and that's what I was thinking today. I think this whole Amorim in comes from hope. We hope that it will get better. But there's no stat to back it up. There's no logic to back it up. So what's the point?
Okay.
That's it.
Neil.
Yeah, I think in the last 1 decade from Moyes, LBG, even Ten Hag, I have been one of those persons who has always been that manager in till the last day. Like I was Ten Hag in till the very last. So I think my entire perspective changed after that. Because see, in this day and age, it's very so the management and all more than 2-3 seasons किसी को मिलेगा नहीं. Even 2 seasons at the max. Plus, with the amount of money being spent is way higher than what used to be done earlier. So even they need results sooner. And United being the biggest commercial club across the world, it's a publicly listed company on the New York Stock Exchange. It has the biggest fan base. So the pressure is just going to be way more higher than any other club. And which is why एक दो season में results नहीं आएंगे, Champions League qualification नहीं होगा, then that will become a problem. I think Amorim, I think he's a great manager, but I don't think he's respected the Premier League enough. Like, you need to adapt little bit of tactics, formation. ठीक है, Sporting में that works. Sporting was a very different league. Portuguese league is very different. The difficulty level, the players that he had at Sporting were very different. It's not necessary. Okay, your tactics and formation were able to be carried out by those players, but it's not necessary. These guys can do that. And
So,
ठीक है, yeah. Sorry.
so basically, you feel like not up to the, maybe he's not up to the level of
Probably not right for United. Probably not right for United.
Not right for United. Okay.
Yeah.
Asamudra.
Oh yeah. So my name is Apurva, but so it's Samudra is my last name.
Oh, there you go.
But then, yeah, for me, I don't really care about Amorim, but I do want him to be given at least. I mean, like, dude, I've watched this club really like ruin my Saturday mornings for a long time. I just want him to be given 10 to 15 matches. What I'm really happy about is that at least we are going in some direction. Even with Ten Hag, there was no direction. It was just hope. And
So, but you feel like with Amorim, there is a direction.
There's a direction. I mean, we had so much possession against Arsenal. Now Arsenal Laudus are staying quiet about how much possession. Usually they used to just come and say, "Oh, but we have more possession." So I think there is a system. There is better, and the players that are getting seem to be more intelligent. So give him 10 matches. If he can't do it, somebody else will come and do it. The players are good enough now.
Okay. And we have Jacob. Jacob, what do you feel?
Yeah, I'm just sticking to the whole logic of we've seen this pattern so many times. I just want to break the cycle. I know giving time is not always considered, like, I mean, people don't like it. Like, we gave ETH too much time compared to Leverkusen, but yeah, I think compared to other managers, there is a semblance of style. There are patterns of play, and we are creating chances. We're just not converting. Again, I don't know what more Amarim can do, especially the last game. I remember the first half, like he said, the system is. I don't think the system is the problem. It's just the players, maybe confidence, maybe something. But I think let's give him time. Let's see how it goes, and I think he'll come good.
Okay, give him time. And we have three more people who I'm going to quickly canvas.
But are they all United fans? I think VK is City, Akash looks like Chelsea, and Vedant is
Barcelona. So
Barcelona. Oh, no horse in this race.
Okay, chalo. So then finally, I need to get Azim, your opinion before we start.
Okay, first of all, I'm very how poetic that we have United fans who are now giving their stand. So this is today the United stand. So nice to see over here. See, my thing is I cannot subscribe to this idea of a manager needs 10 players and 1 year to get players to play decent football. Sure, it takes time to develop style, and we've seen managers like Klopp and Pep and whoever come in and take their time and build something. But I don't know, like, I find it very hard to discount what I have seen. It's the trauma of that last season is very hard to discount and just go with blind hope into this season. And there have also been flashbacks of this season of last season in the Grimsby result, in elements of how we played against Fulham. And Amorim, I think the best analogy I can give you is that if you ask Amorim is the right person for the job, I feel that appointing Amorim is like appointing a really good YouTuber to now run a major broadcast television channel. Where very nice, creative, good ideas and all that, but I don't think he understands the scale of the job and where he is and what expectations come with it.
Amorim is out of his depth.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now to begin with, let's start with this. This is one of United's worst starts it is, I think, the worst start that a manager has had at United.
Well, no, I think Ten Hag lost his first 2 games.
No, sorry. I mean, like, in terms of
overall, yes.
Overall, yeah. I mean, like, this is the longest run of in the post-Fergie era. This is the worst we've seen. So now the question that I want to ask you guys is, how much of this is down to the coach? How much is Amorim to be blamed for this? And because we know that United has had a lot of problems, has had, a bunch of stuff happening behind the scenes as well. So how much of it is down to the manager? And whoever wants to go from either side can just go. Okay, we have two people. Apurva, go for it.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's because of the manager, right? He did not adapt at all last time. He came in with a very set style and he wanted to just play with whatever he has rather than like saying that, okay, at least stem the flow. He also came in at a very, like, the ETH sacking was the worst mistake they've done in a long time because they had to then, we had multiple competitions that they had to handle. So you don't get time. And then you basically, if you're not flexible, you are screwed. So it was quite a lot down to him and the players. And basically, like, somebody has to shovel the shit before things can get clean. And I think Amorim, unfortunately, has been given that job.
Fair. We have Venki.
Just gonna quote one of your previous managers and what he said. He asked, look at the players who leave United, where they play, if they play, and how they play. It was applicable when Jose was there, but now you have Syria MVP, you have people going in on the
Oh,
bench
great
at
point.
Barcelona, you have people joining Chelsea, you have people joining Aston Villa on loan, playing and with Dortmund in the Champions League final. You no longer have the excuse of you just have washed up players who didn't work at United.
Yeah.
You've been recruiting for the last 2 years. If that's not working at United, it means there's a system that's not working with these people.
The
That's
players
damn
are
good.
good, system not so good.
Yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
Venki is making more points than City have this season. It's damn good.
All right, Sachin, go for it.
I think the problem here is that Amorim, when he came in, right, he wanted to play a certain type of football. He didn't have players to do it. That's obvious. But the bigger problem here, in my opinion, is that, sometimes you go to a team, and this has happened to a lot of managers, by the way. It has happened to Unai Emery, has happened to Pep, has happened to Klopp in the past as well. But I think sometimes at the beginning, you need to kind of, tweak your style to suit whatever you have, because you're not going to get 11 players in first season. And to be honest with you, right now also, he doesn't have all the players that he needs to play his system. So I think mostly it is on manager. Of course, players aren't the best players that you can have, and that's obvious. But I feel like that as a manager, that is your job. If you feel like a certain player doesn't fit into your system, coach him, right? Who is the one player? I think Azim has brought it up a lot of times in stream. What is the one player that he has improved? And I can't think of anyone. So I think that's a bigger issue here rather than the players themselves. So yeah.
All right. Okay, Kunal. Who is to
I'll say
blame? Amorim.
I think context is everything. Again, last season, mid-season, it's not like the trend was upwards and then like Amorim turns it downwards. We were going downwards and it continued downwards. Injuries played a big part. Lisandro got injured. Also, let's not forget, ETH did not play Ahmad. It was Amorim who like played him more and like he actually made him an integral part of the team. Who then got injured. Xerxes got injured. Like there was just so many injuries. I think Euro was coming back from an injury. There is all of that. And then in the maybe last quarter of the season, it was just Europa League all in, and like the league really didn't matter. Like finishing 12th versus 14th versus 16th. Like sure, like, oh, you lost those games, but like those were not like serious games. We still reached the Europa League final. Like that was a thing
Unbeaten,
that
by the way.
happened.
We went
It was a
unbeaten
thing.
in the final.
But unbeaten until the final. Yeah, we lost to Spurs, but that is still a credible achievement for a manager joining in the middle of the season. And you kind of again have to give him the league, give him a few games to do what he has to do. It's not discounted of what happened last season. Like the results are definitely not acceptable, but there's also more to it than just like plug and play. Like, oh, somebody like said, like, oh, like Klopp's results. Klopp came after Brendan Rodgers. Like there was a squad. FSG was there for 2 or 3 seasons.
They almost won the league.
Yeah.
They almost won the league. Yeah, it was not a team on the decline that Klopp turned around. He like took a team that had potential and took it to the next level, and then got his players and then won the league with it. So I think there's again context to everything.
Okay. Neil.
Just to add, sorry.
No,
just
go
to
ahead,
add,
bro.
no,
Go ahead.
just to add, yeah, to the City fan, I didn't know Amorim sold McTominay to Napoli. I must have missed that, but that's fine. But last year, like last season, when Amorim came, if he had just ditched his 3-5-2 or whatever that's what his system is, 3-3-4-3, and just started playing 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, I would have been Amorim out, because I don't want my manager to just ditch his style and say that, oh, I just want to win right now. And the intent of last season was to understand which players, what kind of players he has. What, like Ines said that, well, like we want a manager to come in and just identify, so that we also know what we need to prepare for in the summer, so that we know what kind of players we want to bring out. Or the players should be systems agnostic. Like we have signed players which can play in any system, but they will also play in 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 or so. So last season was just a scouting season, which would say, like, yeah, these are the players which needs to go into the bomb squad. These are the players which can stay. And that's what we saw in the summer. Like, we have gotten rid of most of the bomb squad, which caused disruptions, had some issues in the back end. The squad right now is happy. You get bullshit articles from Jackson and other stuff, which I know Kautuk you love to bring out, but like these are generally like copy paste. Like, I can show you same articles for every man under every manager, so it can't be a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
So the
For
squad
those
is
of you
happy, right?
watching who don't have too much context to this, one of Rohit Kale's biggest pet peeves is the poor standard of journalism when it comes to United.
Yeah, so we give an article that gives review of Amorim, then Rohit Kale gives review of journalist.
Okay.
No, but yeah, go ahead, Neil.
Neil.
Yeah, I think if we are sort of like celebrating the achievement of reaching the Europa League final, we also need to remember that Spurs, who won their probably first trophy in eternity, sacked the manager who won them the Europa League. So I think I have my respect for Spurs just increased that day, because they understood what
Oof.
went wrong, and that didn't paper over the cracks of the last 2 seasons of Ange. And I think even if I talk about Thomas Frank, or he has won 2 consecutive Premier League matches in 2 matches, and abhi 30 matches ke baad bhi we are still waiting for Amorim to win 2 consecutive matches. I think right now, so if we look at Slot, Maresca, Hosler, in their first season also they did a decent job. They did a good job. So I don't think after 30 games we can still cut that slack to Amorim. And at the end of the day, like addressing the elephant in the room, losing to Grimsby was what pushed a lot of people over there. It's like तुम कुछ भी formation खिलाओ, कुछ भी tactic खिलाओ, you can't lose to a 4th-tier like team.
So Neil is
Yeah,
asking, where are the standards? Why can't these big defeats, etc., why can't they have consequences? Okay. Now the next thing I want to come to is something that I think we've been circling around, which is this idea of the formation, the system, the 3-4-3, the infamous, all of this stuff, right? So now the question is, I like what Rohit said, that if he had just abandoned all his philosophies and everything else, and immediately, then it would have been like what we saw with Ten Hag, right? 2 games in, he's like, these guys ain't passing. But at the same time, is there an argument to be made that he's being too rigid? So whoever wants to go for it.
I don't think so. He's being rigid. He has shown that he can play 3-5-2 also, or 3-4-3. Arsenal game, I think so. Sometimes he played four in the back also, right? There were moments where you could see that there were four. Like, so he has learned from last season. I can clearly see that. Like, I agree that last season, and the reason why I say that last season doesn't matter is because it comes from a philosophy like where Ineos also was putting their foot down of like, okay, we need time, or the manager needs time. There were a lot of issues. I keep saying that, but there were a lot of issues. Injuries, players were not fit. Like the previous regime screwed up the club from a player
Wait,
healthiness
when you
point
say
of view.
previous regime, who are we
Yeah,
talking about? Let's put
ETH.
some. Oh, okay. Sorry for the digression, but please, I would love you to elaborate on this. It's a wonderful point, I feel.
no, like the trainings were not good. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they weren't like there were points, and that's why I said, right, like I think I
Can
said
you
in
list
oil
like
room.
5, 6 things that you feel? Okay, okay. Sorry. Okay, wait, come back, huh?
Yeah, no, but like the players health or players fitness was a real concern last season,
Yeah,
which showed during matches and other stuff also. But
yeah.
right now, like Amorin now understands the, like, he got that ultimate shock last season, right? Like I and these, like, people will bring up Grimsby and other stuff. I was also like I was I was also devastated that day, right? Like I I didn't expect us to do what we did, but all the other matches, maybe not Fulham that much, but last match or the Arsenal match or even preseason, I I have, like, my lot of my friends went for that Arsenal match in the preseason, the Bournemouth match, Everton match, or Florentina and other stuff. I can like, yeah, that you are gonna get highs and lows with Amarin, at least at the initial this one, but you can see that there's a plan. Like there's a plan. Like you are it feels like Klopp, not from a Klopp's first season point of view. Like uh I was listening to Athletics, like the Talk of the Devil podcast, and one of the things I think Andy Meaton or someone said was like it feels like Klopp's first season from a point of view that it's attack heavy. Like defense still needs to be defense still needs to be sorted out. Goalkeeper, I agree. We don't we like goalkeeper situation is
Goalkeeper
dire.
we'll come to in a bit. Personal.
We'll come to that, but it's dire. But we have a stable, like we have somewhat decent defense, which can be improved much one. Midfield, again, the stuff we need to improve, but you can't fix everything in one single transfer window. Like you
Need
can't
time.
replace 10 players. Yeah, you can. Yeah, and but there are decent players which will take this system forward. It
Mhm.
just needs 10 matches, 10,
Okay.
15 matches.
All right, Kunal, what do you feel? Is he too rigid? Does he change? Is he already changing? 3-4-3. What do you feel?
Oh, you're
No,
on mute, Kunal.
can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I'm saying we overemphasize systems and formations. I think like modern football goes through multiple formations and systems like in a single match. I think the difference this season is we have smarter players. Like I agree with Azim's overall point. I think he's made this multiple times. Like we had like dumb players. Like I think gifted footballers, but like dumb individuals.
Can you list the lowest IQs in the sport?
I mean, Anthony was crying about like the weather in Manchester.
Anthony, to be fair, his head was always spinning, but for different.
Yes.
Garnacho was
So-
leaking team sheets to brother.
Garnacho was also
Yes.
quite low.
Sancho was
So
a
at least in
freedom
attack,
fighter.
we literally have upgraded from a Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony forward line to like Cunha, Mbuemo, Sesko. Those are like smarter players who are more adaptable to these formations. We have
Oh.
seen those movements. We have seen those interchanges. Like, I think there is just more. Yes, you have to be flexible, but they also need the players who are able to like take those instructions and like execute them. And I think these players are more that than what we have had last season.
So the formation isn't as important as the players within it and how they execute it, right? Is that the point?
I think the players give the flexibility to like do more things. Like the
change.
players you have, yeah.
Okay. Sachin.
Yeah, I think this whole, players who are dumb is kind of blown out of proportion. You have signed 3 players over the summer. How exactly do you expect the team IQ to go up suddenly? You have signed 3 players. 3 of them play in attack.
The ones that
You don't
play,
have
though,
midfield.
not the ones that stay in the bench.
Sure, that's a different argument altogether. And on top of that, one interesting thing that I noticed is that despite of doing all of this, your players don't play in natural positions. Bruno, which is supposed to be your cam, plays as center midfielder alongside Casemiro, who doesn't have legs. Your right back is Amat, and not necessarily Mazraoui, who is supposed to be a classic right wing back. So how exactly are you saying that formation is not a problem? You're just playing players at wrong positions and you're expecting results. And you've tried this whole Bruno Casemiro thing multiple times in the past. You know it doesn't work. Do something else. And I think this whole idea of that, the Amorim football sounds like too. I'm trying to think of a word for it, but sounds like too weird for me. He just puts players the way he wants, plays formation whatever he wants, without thinking which players he have in hand, without thinking which team he has. I think it just, to be honest with you, a manager like Amorim should probably coach at some smaller team before coming to United. I don't think he really understands this job, really understands how important this job is. You can't come to for half a season and then say that, I'm going to have this season as some sort of, audition
Trial
for my
ball.
players to see,
Mm.
to trial ball or something. Dude, you're playing for Manchester United. This club has won 20 time or 21 time Premier League titles. I've forgotten how many times we have won, that many times we have won. And you come here and say, I need half a season to play some trial ball? No, that's not going to work. I think eventually, sooner or later, all this Amorim in people are going to turn against him if they don't see the result, and he's eventually going to get sacked. And that's not what you want, right? Technically, I don't want that either, to be honest with you.
But
This debate have come thinking
you would much rather sack him sooner than later. Is essentially-
exactly like cut your losses and move on, because he's not, his formation isn't working. He doesn't have all this, has all this like weird football going on with player playing out of position. That's not a good thing, right?
He's
Either he
too
should get the
experimental
players.
hipster and
Yeah, too
very
hipster. Yeah, that's what the word I was looking for. He's too hipster.
Mm. He's
And
too
hipster
hipster.
coaches like this, work for 1 month, 2 month, 1 year. They don't last for long term. Take SF, for example, right? One of the reasons SF had so much longevity is because he adapted to the football. He had challenges throughout his career and he kept on changing, kept on adapting. I don't see this manager doing that. So that's, I think, is the biggest issue with him. Yeah, back to you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you're saying that 1 year is not adapting. Okay. Okay. SF got the benefit of doubt. He was about to be sacked 3 years into his manager career, by the way. So let's not talk about SF being.
In fact, the
Yeah,
thing
but
I do
also
want to
you
talk
have to
about,
add the context of Alex Ferguson was the manager of United before Alex Ferguson was the manager of United. So he did not
Yeah.
come then with the baggage and expectation of having to win 20 titles or having won 20 titles. He came
No,
in.
but
I mean, I understand the parallels of he came in at a time where Amorim has also come in at a time the same way Ferguson came in at a time where the club was sort of in the doldrums, had a couple of decades of or a decade of success before it had all fallen away. Players had moved on, big players had left, and he came in. But see, the thing for me with I feel it's underrated to talk about the fact, like, when we talk about players adapting to a league. And for instance, I think on one of the athletic podcasts on yours, they were talking about the keeper Lamens, where they were like, okay, will he be able to make the step up to the Premier League? And they said that the reason why Lamens usually has looked very good in the Belgian league is that he can tell when the striker is going to take a heavy touch, and he goes and is able to move off the line correctly and smother the ball correctly. Correct. But then the counterpoint to that is that when you come to the Premier League, the quality of striker in the Premier League is not taking as many heavy touches. So a lot of your ability is there going to be hindered. And I feel that applies to managers as well, in the sense that yes, Amorim's system is different and interesting and all, but at the same time it's not as complicated as people think it is, because everyone is able to sit and figure out the patterns कि अच्छा उसके एक pass आता है center back के पास, then that ball is switched out to the next center back. Every single attack builds the same way if you look at it. So in a sense, I think even though his system, whatever you want to play 3 at the back, 4 at the back, 5 at the back, but even your system, just like a striker who comes to the Premier League, has to adapt and evolve to the demands of the league and change accordingly, which clearly has not happened over time.
okay.
But Azim, it will, right? Like
We don't know. We
no,
hope
but
it will.
we hope it will, right? It's 3 matches into the new season, right? He got that shock last season where he saw what happens, right? So we already saw a much better improved matches as compared to last season in the first 3 matches,
But
irrespective of
have
the
we?
result.
Sure, we saw Arsenal good result. We
Arsenal good,
saw Fulham not good
Burn,
result. Burnley
but Burn,
just about survived and
but
got the win.
no, Burnley, the 2 goals were horrendous keeper mistakes. Like no, if you have that keeper, not even Sir Alex Ferguson will survive.
Okay, so
If
let me ask you this, Rohit. You feel, I'm genuinely asking you, So for example, with ETH also, we had the same thing. Hey, we need to give this guy time, he'll come good. But then eventually we realized, hey, that was the wrong idea. So now the question here is that
ETH was
what
more
makes
out
it,
behind the scenes stuff. It's
but
not
what
just
makes him different? Like what makes him different? Like
If
what
you
if you
take all
this
that
guy?
behind the scenes out, just purely tactically, football wise, what makes them different? Because the results are worse, and the football also still has flashes to what we saw last year.
No,
Also, if
but
you're
I feel
talking
like
about the
Go for it.
yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the players not being great and the players were red flags and dumb, but in like in front of Grimsby, none of these players played. We still ended up losing. All these red flags did not play, and it was these same dumb players that came third in ETH's first season, came eighth in his second season, won the Carabao Cup, won the FA Cup. I know these are not great achievements for a club like United, who was at one point of time was celebrating Premier League titles. But I mean, a lot of situation handling from Amorim's end also could have been better. Like,
Hmm.
for example, Garnacho and Menu.
Hmm.
Garnacho problem, the roots lied in the fact that he did not, Amorim didn't play him in the final. I think he should have started in the final. So the basic problem from where it started, I think, was Amorim's fault. But after that, he did not have the best behavior. He came out and gave an interview. But then, even for commercial reasons, if you have a problem with a player who was valued at 60 70 million 6 months back, तुम publicly आके बोल रहे हो कि he is like a problem, the value and the bidding, everything will go down. And ultimately, I think what we got 30 35 for him. So you don't need to publicly come and throw players under the bus. Same thing for Menu. I think saying that Menu needs to compete for his spot with Bruno. Bruno is the captain. He's not going to be dropped. And and I think Sachin mentioned that players being played at unnatural positions. Ahmad at right wing back, Bruno at central midfield. I think Bruno has been one of the best attacking midfielders in the last 4 5 seasons in the entire Premier League. He is like one of the great. All his stats back him. So playing him in so deep, I don't think that helps anyone as well.
Okay. Okay.
I
We'll
don't know
quickly
if I
go
agree with that. I'd also say
Okay.
like
Kunal, tell the
like
but.
I mean, if Bruno is so good, he can play like if he's so good in one position, it doesn't mean completely ineffective in any other position. And if it makes the overall team better, I think that's a worthwhile sacrifice to make. Again, it was the same team we have the most XG this season. We have dominated Arsenal. Burnley should have been more goals. There have been results that, like, if we had scored that one penalty against Fulham, that result could have been completely different, and that we could have easily been on 3 wins this season instead of 1 win, 1 draw, 1 defeat. So it's like a game of fine margins, and like in ETH's case, it was on one side, and we like kept him too long. And on this side, it's like on the other side, and you're like, oh, like no, this is not acceptable. We can't be both like, oh, performances are what matter, and when the performances are there, we're like, oh, but the results are what matter. Or what about Grimsby? You kind of have to pick what your metric is for success and like evaluate it over whatever time you say it is going to be.
But also, so if you come back to last season, at the start of last season, we were sort of having this same conversation about Ten Hag as well, where we were like, अरे यार कुछ तो बन रहा है, अच्छा लग रहा है, but वो finishing नहीं हो रहा है. We're creating so many chances. Bruno is missing open goal, Højlund is missing open goal, Dalo is missing open goal. So we had crazy high XG even in the first 5 games under Ten Hag when we were underperforming. So I mean, I don't know then what the difference is between the two situations, because the last season everybody also in the first matches was like, okay, looks like something is building, looks like he's on to something, goals are just not being scored. If we had just put this away, if Bruno had scored this chance, if Hoyland had scored this chance, it would all been different. So my question then comes to, apart from the formation and the two forwards, really what has
No,
changed?
it could be absolutely the same. It could absolutely be the same, but we gave it the whole season to figure that out. I don't know if like half of a truncated season and 3 games into a new season is enough. That's why like it's like in 15 games it may be exactly the same, and you still cut your losses and get a new manager. It is just kind of have to.
No, of course, can't sack manager.
Yeah.
Okay, Apurva, I think
Okay.
was going to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think the difference between ETH and this was ETH was far too involved in other stuff. And like the XE that they were getting was because these players like Garnacho, Rashford, and all, they knew they could just perform and get contracts. And this is what has happening for last 10 years. Like I think one of the main differences I see now is that you don't have those high enough people in the club. Like the players that we have, none of them seem like Onana, when like the news comes out that he's asking for a new contract.
Oh.
That's just fucking ridiculous. So that's what I'm saying. Like people who are just playing for money and just to kind of, just get that next contract and like it's very clear now nobody's paying more than 100-150K per year unless you are like Haaland or Blocker. But at least he's not the kind of person who will not put in the shift. He just can't anymore. So I think that's the main difference I see, which is why I feel happy. Like I don't care Amarim stays or goes, but like we shouldn't sack him right now because it will create too much instability. But if he's not in 10 games, he should give, right? Like I said, he's going to be the R. Brendan. The next person who comes in is going to be the king.
So I think the crux is, sorry, Gautam, just add something. I don't think so anyone over here who's Amorim in is saying that like they are Amorim in because they want to see at least half a season. I would say half a season. Some people might say 10, 15 games, but half a season, we want to see what happens. If something goes bad, yeah, sack him because yeah, you can't like if something's failing, there's no point in keeping it around, right? So, but after 3 games, yeah, last season, if you count last season, there are a lot of people who do, I don't. But last season at 3 games, people say, okay, you need to go. That's not correct. At least for me or Kunal or even Apur, I don't think so. Any of us wants
I
that.
don't think anybody says he needs to go, but at the same time, everybody is like he has to do much better.
But he has
I
from a stat wise, if you see, it's much better than
Wait,
last
wait, wait.
season.
Our next thing is going to be the stat war. Okay, so before that,
Yeah.
Venki, just tell us what you feel.
a couple of points there. Guys, we need to take a step back and understand we're talking about Manchester United here. There's not middles for it. Okay, we're talking about a manager who came in the mid-season, had potential. A new manager needs time, embarrassing losses, points less than games. I'm actually talking about Gary Neville and not your current manager. Understand the comparison. Valencia had the balls in 2014 to sack their manager and say, this is not working, guys. Every big club has done this. Barcelona said, Xavi, don't leave. We want you. Then sacked them and then they won the league next year. We're talking about Arsenal fans here saying that we're going to come second this year. We're going to come second and go to final. We're going to come second, go to final, and then score an away goal next year. It doesn't need to be progressive season on season. You can take a right step and take a bigger jump. And you're at Manchester United, you've got to do some cardinal sins. A few things are not acceptable. You did not lose to Grimsby Town. You got outplayed against them. You're talking about fine margins. It had to be 3-0 before anything there. You were lucky to take it into penalties, and then it got more embarrassing for you because the match went on for longer. He had the tactic board on at the 60th minute. Can you imagine any other previous Manchester United managers coming after Alex Ferguson using a tactics board and trying to work out against the second tier team? Guys, you know what was even worse than that? He had 5 at the back even in the tactics board at 60th minute when he was 2-0 down. That's his level of adaptability and he's working with different formations. And adding to Hassan's point, the last thing I've been waiting to tell this. Because I have an answer for one of your questions that you had about for the last 2 years. I think United need a midfielder like Jordan Henderson who can just come next to Casemiro there, just be an engine, pass and fill in the gaps there, and let the creative players be the creative players. Let the fullbacks go ahead and fill in at pockets where it's required. You cannot have Bruno Fernandes in midfield taking your best player and not letting him do and express himself there. You signed 4 number 10s. I mean, luckily or unluckily, you had Mason Mount being fit at the start of the season. No one counted for that. Yeah, you have 4 number 10s, and then you have proper midfielders on the bench and respecting number 10s because they're big signings and they've been performing the previous seasons play out of position instead of using the options on the bench because you're not working with the players you have because you're coming with the tactics and saying which are the best players in the team. I just want to play them in this formation. Let's see if Mason Mount has to play wing back for 15 minutes. I'm good with it as long as we just fill it up and not checking if they're actually fitting in its round pegs.
The City
I have a
fans packing
controversial.
heat.
Sorry,
Oh man.
I have a controversial opinion. I don't care about Grimsby Town, dude.
I
Canada
don't think you care
fucking
about anything,
useless.
Apurva. You're just like
I'll be honest. No, first of all, I don't care about a City fan commenting on United. So that is the first thing I don't care about.
Yeah, yeah.
But secondly, I don't care about is like it's fine, man. One game loss, it happens. It doesn't really does it really? What is more important to me is the club heading in the right direction. Like individuals can come and go, which is why I feel like the
Yeah,
club is heading in the right direction.
yeah, I
No,
agree.
there was
Because
just one.
I think we
Ah,
Go
don't
ahead, go ahead.
like compare with like other like Pep played 4 center backs. We're like, oh no, that's not square pegs and round holes, is it? Because the results were good. Or like
correct. Yeah. So,
he'll play with
but
no.
so which is
Yeah,
why you'll get the slack if the results are good. If he played the John Stones also in midfield, and everyone was like, "Whoa, what a generational genius!"
yeah. So like like based on the results, you can say, oh, this is like
Yeah.
good or bad. So let the results show itself in a few games, and then you can decide. Like, or you said the results were bad enough based on last season and should have been sacked before. At this point,
Yes, it's not based
I,
on last season. He came in December and he finished 15th. Like, I don't know how you could just ignoring that. Like, Unai
but
Emery
he
took
came when
over
he was
Aston Villa,
8th.
who were in 17th, and finished the season in Champions League position. That we
Hmm.
just ignore that because, no,
Yeah.
guys, he just came mid-season, it's not valid. So people who do well is going to be credited. But people who do bad, oh, can you just forget that and just move on because it doesn't suit my narrative? Aston Villa has a better standard than United in terms of firing a manager and setting some expectations. And you had a good squad. None of you are complaining about the players. You're saying, no, the players is
No,
working
we
in the
definitely
right
are
direction.
complaining about the players.
I mean, the
And the
whole
players
attack
who we
was
are complaining
replaced. I
about
don't
are
know
out.
where. Yeah,
But
the
Yeah,
whole
now,
attack was
what
replaced.
players do we have to complain about really? I mean, apart from two
No,
midfielders, you don't have anything to complain
No,
about.
the
One
goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper,
one CDM, and I think that's about
I
it.
mean, the CDM I
goalkeeper
think
is
is
shallow, yeah.
workable.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper
Okay,
is the critical.
before we go to
I just
stat war, before we go to
I
stat,
just want to say, I just want to
Ah.
say, like, given that everyone has established that this is the worst United team or worst manager, given the fact that Pep is behind him right now, I think he should be sacked first, right?
Rohit is basically attacking Venki
I'm so happy
personally.
to follow that.
No,
I'm
no, because
actually happy to do.
I don't understand the like I don't understand this because you have so much back like I know people say United is a brand and other stuff, but for the past 10 years we haven't been a brand. We have been uh, a bottom 10 team, irrespective of peppered
Bottom
with
10. Isn't it the first time you've ever finished in the bottom 10?
I don't think we are a bottom 10 team.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
yeah,
That's
I
I
the
bought
don't
him
think you
technically. I
can
think
go into that thing
from
of like I see so many people online, Reddit and all, who are you ask them what's a good season, they're like, yeah, if we finish eighth, it's a how you can say eighth is a good season, yeah? How?
no, no, but from a quality of like from quality of like managers on paper looked good, but players didn't play, we didn't perform. We did end up top two with Jose Mourinho, top three with ETH and other stuff. But those performances weren't good. We it was
Ole
like
finished
hot.
second as well.
We screwed up. We
Ole
got
finished second as well.
which one?
Ole finished second as well. He finished ahead of Klopp as well. He finished second right behind Pep.
No, no, that's what I'm saying.
So
Like
you've not been in the
we
trenches.
finished second
You've
once.
had successful times in the
We
recent
finished
past.
twice. Like the second time we finished, there was a gap of 25 points between City and United during Ole's season. You can't call that as a top two team, right? If there's a gap of 23 points or so. That like I'm not saying City is a bad team. I like what City has done, irrespective of that 115, like Pep and other stuff. I'm more concerned about what my club does, right? I want my owners to be good. They make a stable club structure where there's proper reporting. I want a manager who comes in and says that, okay, I'm going to take it by the neck and get the club to the right, towards the right direction, right? We tried with that with Ole. Ole had bad owners, so I feel bad. I would have personally I would have loved if Ole would have was our manager, like had given a chance and so under this regime. But right now, it feels like Ole. Like for me, it feels like this manager has something which Ole showed me. So I want to back this manager because I can see the players responding from a fitness point of view, from a training perspective. The
So
position, yeah, go ahead.
I want to come to the player conversation, but before
Yeah.
that, very quickly, Akash, if you can make your point, and then because you want to go to stats right after.
Yeah, so my only point is, why are we discounting a season of 25 plus games? What justifies finishing 16th in the league with a
I agree.
squad that Man United has? Good managers has impact. You have countless example. Unai Emery at Villa, Steve followed Steven Gerrard and took a team from relegation to I think seventh or eighth. You have Thomas Tuchel coming in for Frank Lampard, who was struggling in the league, out of depth, to be frank. Won the Champions League with Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Ziyech, all those teams. So good managers has impact. And it's not like he was there for like 10 games, 12 games. He was there for 25 plus games and he finished 16th in the Premier League. Like 16th in the Premier League. You can't justify that. Even like the worst a manager can do, that's beyond
Yeah,
what
even
is
to second
expected
your
from a
point,
team
even
like United.
David Moyes also came in January and 16th, say he took the team to 13th. So yeah, I agree with you.
Correct. Good managers has impact. You can't say we'll wait 30 games. It has been 30 plus games now.
But
And
I'll
with
also
zero
say, like,
progress.
you have a Villa, you have a West Ham. Nobody's looking at the results and like, oh, tweeting 1,000 things when like they have a bad result and like,
That's comes with the Man United job.
no,
You can't take
yes.
that.
So
Don't take the United job. Like
but that's what
United
it
should not
means.
be the
So like,
grooming ground for a manager.
Chelsea is
Um,
built to like replace managers. Like they don't care which manager comes in, which manager goes. That's the change that's happening. It's like the manager should not matter this much. Like Alex Ferguson, for all the good that he did, he became the single point of failure for everything that the club does. He did the recruiting, he did the hiring, he did like everything was Sir Alex. He had his own scouting network outside of the club scouting network to sign players. That has not been replaced. The Glazers did no work to replace that. Like that is why Ten Hag was able to like say, "I want this player, pay whatever you want for him," because there's nothing else to like refute it. This is the first time we actually have a
so
structure that is like
So I
outside of the
agree with
manager.
all your points. What I'm saying is, with whatever squad Manchester United has, you can't justify finishing 16th with
No,
25 plus
no,
games.
yeah,
That is
it's not
something that
justified.
cannot be
But
justified.
that is
And
done. That is done. Like now,
so
new
we are
season,
just
new like
ignoring that. We are saying, I don't care about
no.
last season. We are 3 games in. That's what
I'm saying that
everybody is saying.
I'm saying
No,
if you want to consider that, then you should have sacked the manager then. Now you are
We
here.
should have. We have sacked them at Bilbao when they lost to Tottenham Hotspurs in Europa League final,
Yeah,
who
but we
finished
did
like
not sack him then. We are here
below
now.
you in the league.
So now you can't be like if you draw a line there and say, okay, if that we did not sack him there and now we have to consider what we want to do, you
So
kind of
that's the
have to.
classic sunk cost fallacy. That's the definition of sunk cost fallacy. If we
That is
did
not
not
the
sack
definition
him,
of
then
sunk.
might as well.
No, it is not. It is essentially saying now that you have not sacked him, you want to have a fair evaluation from now on, unless because otherwise every single result from now will be like, well, what about 29 games? Oh, but what about 29? There is no way to dig out of that hole. But what about 29 games? So he has to like then
So
give him
there's no way
29
to
more
dig out the
games.
hole. The only way to compare is now to dig a new hole of 10 games and see which one is worse.
Yeah, or
okay.
a
Kunal,
new
Kunal,
manager could be a new
Okay.
manager also could be a bigger hole. Like there is, I
How?
don't know, some yeah,
100% a bigger hole. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Okay,
There is no
so
like
So
a new
Kunal, I
manager
have
is
one
immediate
question
better
for you,
result.
Karthik.
go
Before
for
we
it.
move on, one question. So Kunal, let's say I hope Amorim works out well, but let's say he doesn't. Okay, you give him 6 months. You are sitting in January in 17th, 18th. Okay, you sack Amorim. Where do we go from there? Because the problem here, you see, you're sacking another manager, another ETH, middle of the season. You have to get Amorim part two. We don't know if it will work out again, right? So we are again back to the same problem that we were back with Amorim when he was hired in the first place. What is your
Yeah,
take on that?
no,
I don't
I
So
mean
agree.
that.
I feel
why not
like,
sack
sorry.
him at the beginning of the season or before the season starts and just move on
But
with a
whether
different manager
the
because he
season
hasn't
has
worked?
started, the transfer window is shut. So there is like whether you
And
sack
now
him
that's
now, sack
conjecture.
him.
Yeah, can't.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Now,
mean, I don't
Sachin,
agree with so one thing I
uh,
want to say is that in this system, even if you sack Amorim and get another manager, let's say Tommy Tuchel gets stuck from England because he sucks, but he's coming in here. I think they would do well with these players. These players do not seem like players who are either in for like money or are not adaptable. So Sesko, you can hit the balls. This guy has a leap of Ronaldo. He can hit that ball and get it in. So I think the players are decent enough to adapt to a new manager, unlike Anthony or Onana or fucking
But basically,
other
we're
idiots
saying
that
now
have got.
that apart from one midfielder, you can't say Amorim has too much excuse at this moment to not show progress over the next 10 games. I think that's the way to round this off.
All right,
Yeah.
boys, get the stats ready. And we're going to start with the man who's already ready with the stats. So Sachin Deo, now is your moment. If you'd like to ask us for share screen, please ask. If
No,
you
I don't
would.
have share screen, but I have stats that I
Let's
found out. So
go.
one of the arguments I get a lot on Oil Money Group is SF at time, Klopp at time. Why not give Amorim a time? So this is answer to that.
Oof.
First season of SAF, 86-87. He took over charge in November. United finished 11th. FA Cup 4th round, League Cup 3rd round, win rate 33%, draw rate 33%. This is first season. Second season, he finished second, 5th in FA Cup and League Cup quarters. Before this, by the way, I went back and again I get this arguments that what about where he picked up the team from? So before he picked up the team, United didn't finish second or third for a while, by the way. Go look at this up online. Klopp, first season, 15-16. Position Premier League 8th in the middle of the season. Win record 53%, draw record 30%. League Cup runners-up, FA Cup winners, Europa runners-up. That's Klopp, by the way. Now, let's get to the man, Amorim. First season 24-25, picked up in the middle of season. Position 15th, win record 26.67%, draw record 23.33%. If you haven't figured it out, loss record 50%. FA Cup quarters, League Cup 3rd round, Europa League final. So the stats speak for themselves. None of these managers finished 15th. None of these managers had such an abysmal win record. And how are we justifying this guy? That's what I was thinking all along. That sure, I mean, managers needs to be given time, everything, and I agree with that. But I don't see any logic. I don't see any stats to back this up. And I'm sorry, but I'm an engineer and I work on logic. I work on stats, and I don't see this happening here. So yeah, that's on
All
team.
right.
Back to you, Gautam.
Let's get a counter with
Also adding to,
stats.
I'll just
Huh.
add to Sachin's points also. And even if you look at Ole, Van Gaal, Jose, all of them were sacked for like seventh, eighth positions on the Premier League. And even like Ole, he came in somewhere around December, I think he finished sixth. Jose in his first season won the Europa League. LVG also, I think he was fourth in the Premier League in his first season. And I think the rest of the stats though Sachin gave. So I don't think the first season excuse should be there. Whether you have come in for 25 games or 30 games or 20 games, you had a considerable amount of games to prove. And like Azim also mentioned, if the results were backed by everything that he did, by the rigidness, by playing three at the back, not tweaking the formation, if the results were backed, then I don't think we would even be having this debate if that was happening.
But I think the main important thing you guys are not seeing is who are the owners, because Ineos, it was Glazers, like not Sir Alex Ferguson, or so I'm talking about what Neil was saying. LVG or Jose or Ole and other stuff had Glazers as their owners, right? Right now it's Ineos who's handling the football, at least footballing side. They have the complete control. I don't think so Glazers has any input right now. Their criteria is completely different than what Glazers had, because Glazers were driven by what online chatter was saying, whereas Ineos is data driven, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't think so they're shy in sacking people. They did with Ashworth. They said that Ashworth is not working out, we don't want him. So it's not like they're going to be shy about sacking Amorim if they feel something's bad with that guy. So if they are seeing something in him, I think the fans should also.
No, we
Yeah, I
definitely
think
see the something, but it doesn't become anything.
No, but it's like it's always going to be the what ifs, right? Like what if, like if it turns bad, then yeah, you sack him, right? You have players which are adaptable to any system. You can bring a manager. You can judge that manager also with the second half of the season and then sack him also. I don't care, because apparently 6 months you sack people. It's okay to sack people after 6 months. But
Okay, just to bolster one, keep Amorim point, okay, with stats, just to bolster it with stats. So here are some attacking stats from United this season. They have led with most total shots. It's around 58. Most touches in opposition box. Highest expected goals, XG, which is 6.78. Most times hitting the woodwork also, 4. They are top of the league in fast breaks, second in total duels, highest ground duel success rate, and third in successful open play crosses. So is it just bad luck?
To answer your question,
Right.
Kautuk, all of these stats are great. They don't win you matches. They don't give you points. They don't improve your position in league. If you are going by stats, right, the entire career of Jose Mourinho is a lie because he has parked a bus and win matches. So it doesn't matter.
So I
So
mean,
Sachin, I don't get your point. On
just
one side, you presented all these stats about like Klopp
know,
and
right?
this and that,
Either
and
stats
then
are
now
good
you
or
say like
bad.
stats don't matter. Like I don't know, you
No,
prefer
I'm
stats
saying
when
only
you suit,
stats that matter. Only stats that matter.
only stats that
Are
fit
the
your
ones that
narrative
support your
matter. I
view.
get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
stats
Not
that
supporting my
matter.
view,
I
but
get
that's
it.
a fact, my friend. So
If Kautuk's
That
stats are so great, I mean, ultimately you still shouldn't lose to a fourth tier footballing team,
Come
right?
on,
Like,
man.
No,
but
which is what I'm asking. I'm asking the
but we
question.
No,
should.
chalo, take the
If
fourth tier out of the equation. At
if
least you
Amorim is
should.
so bad, then he should not have also like dominated Arsenal and lost to a goalkeeping error.
No, so
Yeah,
exactly. So the
but
question.
equally we should also have. I mean, chalo, Burnley keeper put in a great performance and all of that. But it really Burnley is probably Burnley home is one of the most winnable games of the season if we put it into context.
And the
How have
question
we
I'm
just
raising,
scraped through that?
the question I'm raising with these stats is that maybe the things are improving under the hood. It's just that maybe there's that little bit of bad luck, a little bit of, like there's sometimes you just need things to go in your favor, and there's fine margins essentially. So is the team progressing correctly, but we're not seeing it in terms of goals and things like that? Like, is that what's happening?
Team
Yeah,
is
because
definitely
if you hit
progressing.
the
What
I
about
don't
eye
think
goalpost,
it's
test?
fast
Where do you
enough.
guys stand on eye test?
I like it.
Yeah, I like to put in a point there.
Finally, you like something.
Yeah. Venki, go for it.
No, I think the eye test becomes very important. One thing I would kind of disagree with Sachin to you. I understand the stats, but stats, as we've understood, can honestly be presented the way you want. Like, if you just look at the career of Gareth Southgate, you're talking about getting Thomas Tuchel from England. Just get Gareth Southgate. He's reached what 2 finals, 1 semi-final, 1 quarter-final. England has been the most successful there. Just look at the shaking of heads. You're never going to accept it just because you have positive stats or negative stats. You still need to be convinced with the eye test. Like no Manchester United fan is ever going to endorse for. Doesn't matter how bad it gets, you're never going to endorse for Gareth Southgate. Even though he's had harmony, he's known how to balance. Play 5 at the back. What you guys like now? 2 in midfield. Just get Sterling or Rashford to uh, go for a couple of shots a game, and when Luke Shaw playing well, it still doesn't matter. So I think the eye test is where he's actually failed, and you keep giving him grace for the Arsenal performance. I think you have quite big games before the next international window. It's going to be a very important time. Next couple of matches, Chelsea, City. I think we play Liverpool also in a couple of weeks. So uh, let's park the stats for a minute and just base him on the next 5 games and then decide on if he's good enough or not, because you're kind of giving him grace for the last season, the losses of this season, the Carling Cup, the League Cup, and only considering 2 games where he won or he played well. So yeah.
Okay, Chal, I'll put a question in over here. So if we look at the next, what are our upcoming next 5 fixtures for United? If we look at them,
I think Chelsea, City have.
Chelsea City are next.
Oof.
So if
That-
we look
Is this
at
across all competitions
we
or
have
is this the
Chelsea,
Premier League?
whatever it is, Premier League. So if we look at the next 5 games we have to play, it's City, Chelsea, Brentford away. Then in October we have Sunderland home and Liverpool away. Okay, so those are our next 5 matches. What constitutes
Package.
acceptable out of these next 5 games?
I think first
Azim,
of
before
all,
you yeah,
performance.
sorry, before you get into Azim, there's a bunch of people in the lobby, I think, who want to get in.
Oh, are there? Oh, shit. Hold on. Okay, that's 2 people. Sorry, my bad. Yes.
Azim, I think
Say
so.
3
First
wins out
of
of
all, I
5.
think I need a performer, like a consistent performance throughout the 5 games.
No, I'm
Like,
going to also add into the context to it that 14th September, 20th September, 27th September, 4th October, 19th October. So this is going to be five games with over a month of training
Hmm.
available to the manager, full weeks, no midweek, no distraction, nothing. So with that context, what should we reasonably be expecting from the manager over the team over the next 5 games?
3
like
wins.
bare minimum is performance, like consistent performance throughout 5 games, like
So
same same.
so you're saying you're okay if we lose all 5 matches if it
No, no, no,
looks
no.
good?
That's the bare minimum I'm saying. That's the bare minimum which he has to, like, because I don't want to say that, okay, Arsenal one was the only good game, like, or it was a good performance. I need a similar performance from him for all
So you're
the
saying
big games
it
as.
needs to look as good as the Arsenal game
Yes, yes,
for the
yes.
next 5 games. Okay.
But
Yeah, I'll
But
also
Azim, I
say
have a
so.
question there then. No, I have a
no, no.
question there. That means if you get bad performances and get results, will you sack him then? If you just want to base it on performance, you get lucky against
No, no,
City, you get
I
lucky
was gonna.
against Chelsea. Will you
No, no.
consider sacking him, or will you talk about, oh, we've had 2 wins in the last 5 games? How can you sack him then? Like, back your performance with some results. We always have credible stats to back it with.
See, I like personally, I don't care about wins and like that. That's my approach. Like I want him to be, I want him to stabilize the club. That's the intent of the manager. When like when I look at United, it's in a disarray both front and back end also. I want someone to come in and stabilize the manager from a playing style perspective. We didn't for last 10 years. I won't be able to tell you what kind of play style we play during Sir Alex Ferguson's, because of the longevity. Obviously, I knew what we used to play. Like I knew what I could expect when I used to turn on the TV. Like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. I want him to lock that out. The intent of start of the season, what I felt was, I want to see, okay, if I'm describing an Amorim's play style to someone who's not watching football or so, I should be able to tell them, yeah, this is how he plays. This is what his formation is. This is what his CM does. This is what his win backs does. This is what his number 10 does and other stuff. So that's something which I'm looking for during the first half of the season. If you if you add like from those 5 games, I would say if he wins 3 games using the same performance, I'm happy. I'm a happy customer. If even if he loses the 2 games, let's say he loses City and Chelsea, but he or let's see, right now it looks like City and Liverpool he loses, right? Like Liverpool is really good, and I think he loses City also. If he wins Chelsea, Sunderland, and the other team, but he has the same consistent performance uh, for all 5 games, I will be very happy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, like,
Okay.
looking at the games, like we have City away and Liverpool away, which are tough games. City is a derby and away. Liverpool always difficult away. And then the other away game is Brentford, which we should be winning. The home games are Chelsea and Sunderland. So home games we should be winning. Brentford we should be winning. And then the 2 difficult away games. So like 2 wins is like the minimum. 2 wins, 2 draws is like good. 3, 4 wins out of 5, I think would be like really good. But those are like 4 wins would mean we're either winning City away or Liverpool away, which is really tough.
Yeah, 4 wins would mean we are winning the title only at this point.
I mean, City, who knows, Pep, beginning of the end. Eras come to an end.
Okay, so I have 2 questions. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what both of them are, and we'll take the first one first. So one is, why can't these players be motivated? And I'm basing this off that statement that Amorim himself made after the Grimsby game, where he said the players spoke very loudly. Now, we've had this players downing tools conversation, players not being able to rise to the occasion, players not playing to their level, etc. Or they need a big team to give a big performance, right? So why can't these players be motivated? That's the first question. The second question, obviously, which is the last one, is if he is sacked, then who do you think comes in? Right. So let's go with the first one first. What's wrong with these players?
Kautuk, but you have to take that statement with the one which he gave in Burnley also, right? Where he says that sometimes I will like them, sometimes I won't like them if
अरे पर ये
right.
सब ऐसे पब्लिक में नहीं बोल सकता है यार. जस्ट इमेजिन इफ आई गो अराउंड जस्ट पब्लिकली टेलिंग एवरीबॉडी इन माय फैमिली, या समटाइम्स आई लव माय वाइफ, समटाइम्स आई हेट माय वाइफ, पता नहीं कभी कभी लगता है दूसरा रूम में सोना चाहिए. ऐसे ये अंदर की बात है यार.
नहीं, but it's
That's what
from a
stand-up
point
is
of
for.
view. But it's from a point of view where he gets frustrated, like if he's trying to implement a thing and if the players decide to do their own things, right? Like they're like, okay, Grimsby, I don't think so they took them seriously. That's the main issue. What happened? Like they were like, अच्छा fourth year, ऐसे ही निकाल देंगे अपन. Like I don't care. By the way, the people who are saying why Mainu shouldn't play, like should play, they should see that performance and say that whether he's ready or not. But that's
Good performance, I don't think that can be judged, Rohit. Like you need to give that
so
player
you
enough.
are,
You can't
but
judge
but
him
you are now you are judging
See,
Amorim
now
on
you're
3 games.
saying that okay,
But these are
Menu
the
no
30
no no
matches, 30
no now
matches.
you're saying wait, now you're saying कि okay, let's judge Menu on one match, while let's disregard the 30 good matches
Entire
he's
season.
played for us before. So I mean, you can't. It's
That
the
has
same,
always
na?
been the
You're
case.
No, but Mahinu was
That's always
injured
been the
last season,
case.
right? Most of the time. Like he like so you're also saying now he didn't play for 2 games or 3 games, but he played whenever he was available last season, right? Whenever he wasn't injured. So and he just turned 20. It's not like he's in his prime right now and he's been dropped for Bruno
No,
or
but
something like
again,
that.
so again, coming back to, I was running yesterday, I was listening to one of the, I think the Stretford Paddock podcast where they got Carl Anka in, and his thing also, like the entire discussion where they were saying, okay, from the point of view of Menu, you walk around these corridors of Old Trafford where everywhere it is plastered. If you're good enough, you're old enough, and you're being told no, sit down, captain is going to play ahead of you. And I don't think anybody is saying Menu has to play. I think the thing comes off, it is a guy who has shown such talent after so long, a guy who's come like since Rashford. I don't think we've had that guy where we were so excited about an academy talent who's come in. And it's very saddening that under this manager we don't seem to find a way to incorporate this player into the team. And second, also, he's the last academy player we have available of any quality, and we're not using that. So again, similarly to how you would say, okay, I would switch on the TV and watch Ferguson play and I would know a certain style of playing. Similarly, there was the thing of, okay, you would switch on the TV and be like, okay, United is known and very proudly has this heritage of academy players, and boosting the players and making sure that they are part of it. And it feels like doing this is almost a loss of the club's collective identity, to be like, we're just going to be like, no, this guy can't play, and we're not going to even try to incorporate him, and straight out say that no, he's competing with the captain who almost never misses a game. So now how does he get in the game?
But that doesn't mean he doesn't give a get. Like it could vary. Mount gets injured, Bruno moves up, Manu is in midfield. Like
No,
there
no,
is ways in which
100%. Yeah. So which is probably what's
and
going to happen
that's
right
what
now.
happened against Burnley. That's
But it's
literally
not
what
good.
happens.
It's not good for the player, right, to hear that, and it's not.
You don't
good
know.
for-
Like maybe that's
Azim.
what. Like again, this is where like it's
No.
speculation of like how Manu reacts
But
to it.
Kunal,
I mean, he asked for a loan. How do you think he's reacted to it?
conversation
But
would have
then you
happened.
don't want a player like that. You don't want a player who's like not like again. If you're good enough, you're in the team. Then you have to be good enough to like fight for your spot and like believe that you can do it. Bruno is 31. Like in a season, in 2 seasons, like you have a position there.
He's gonna
Like it
go.
really.
He's gonna.
I mean,
go
I would
most
also
likely
look
next
at it
season.
from the perspective of this guy has also, when the chips are down, has shown the mentality and showed up and scored stoppage time winners, scored goals in big games.
So has Ahmad.
Yeah,
FA Cup
but
winner.
no, Ahmad has scored. Yeah, sure, he scored those goals. But the point is that Meno has done it
was
as
Anthony.
well. But then you're like, okay, we'll force fit Ahmad as a right wing back, but we're not going to find a way to get Meno into the team. So there's
I mean, it's
a
again,
dichotomy there.
he played plenty last season.
There's a
I'm sure he will.
very there's a very easy solution to get Meno in. Just fire Amarim, get Gareth Southgate. He believes in Meno. He should play him there. I mean, I
Let's
don't know
go.
what's the
Southgate in.
Southgate
Yeah,
is-
8 defenders
I've
and 1
Southgate is
attacker.
I think back to
Yeah.
Kautuk's question. I don't think it's player motivation at least now. I think it is a like you need a special kind of player to play for United at this point. I see 2 situations. One
Mentality
where
wise.
United Yeah, I see United like 10 more years of mediocrity and like we have less pressure and we kind of turn into Liverpool of like 10 years ago where like there are not that many fans and this you expand the pool of players
So
who
you
can
want
play for
to
United.
so you're saying you want Amorim to oversee 10 years of United being obscure so that
No,
he
no,
can do better.
we need our Kenny Dalglish, we need our Brendan. Like we get all of those. There was
We already
Gerard
had
Houllier,
Ole, wasn't
Gerard
he?
Gerard Houllier, all
No,
the
but I feel like
classics.
one thing I want to say is that the young players think like it's okay if he doesn't play. Like I don't think Menu has to play just because he was at 20. There are lots of people who competed for one exact position and they were super subs and they had to stay super subs for a long time because they had to come in and at the end score. So
Like
it's not
I
like
think the
Rashford,
he has
main
to play.
position. I think the Meno position becomes obvious because Bruno Fernandes is playing there. It's not because Meno is a talented
Yeah.
guy who's not playing, and you can understand. It's that Bruno Fernandes should not play there. Like any Bruno Fernandes will get into the camp position for any team in the world. He gets into Real Madrid's team even and plays there as well. If he can't get into his position at Manchester United, that's where it's not adding up.
Yeah.
It's
but
not because of
if
Bruno
Bruno is
Fernandes.
such a good player, I don't see again this CAM CM like it is very like, oh, if you're CM you can't do like players are good enough to adapt to multi. Kevin De Bruyne again, great player. He has played central midfield many years. He's the best CM in the Premier League for the last 10 years. He plays central midfield next to Rodri many times, many games, and has done so successfully. I think we keep too much of like, oh, like why are you playing this player out of this position and so on, like too
I think the
much.
bigger point over here, but Kunal, is that if you had enough number 10s and skillful number 10s to play, like you could play Ahmad, Mount, Bruno in those roles, still you went ahead and spent 120,
Yeah.
130, two
That was
number
not
10s.
Amorim's call. That was
No,
again not
100%. Yeah,
Amorim's
it's
call.
that
What
doesn't
then?
fall on Amorim. It's more a
Yeah.
question of then you question that decision of if you had Mount, you had Bruno. Chalo, Mount is going to be injured for large parts of the season. You have Ahmad who's showed promise in playing in that position. You've signed Cunha, you've signed Mbumo. You had Zirkzee and Hoyland reasonably serviceable up top. So chalo, then out of Sesko, Cunha, Mbomo, you should have then bought two out of the three and got a specialist midfielder, which is again a very strange decision.
Correct.
Yeah, and
Or
But I feel
I
like
mean that is
in this
I think that's
situation,
the
I think that's where Amorim is going to fail or succeed is if he can somehow adapt to this. Like
Yeah.
it's not the worst thing to adapt to, right? Having such good players and be like, oh shit, I can't have one central defender. So if he cannot adapt to this, and then he will sink. If he does adapt to this, and there are some injuries and he manages them, well, he'll succeed. That's what it's coming.
because like
It's
last
coming down.
season the big problem was we were not scoring goals. Like we just were
Yeah.
not, and I think that's where like you had to fix that with players.
I don't
Maybe
think
it was two
anyone
and not three.
trusts that even with a central midfielder who's awesome, Casemiro bhai will not let in shots. So then they're like, at least we should score more than the other side.
Also,
No, I
Mahesh,
think I would disagree there a bit. Sorry, a quick point. I think I would disagree there a bit. I mean, if you look at the McTominay example, you're saying you have the option of being in central midfield and going above Bruno Fernandes can still go ahead. I think you need to
Yeah.
give him the freedom of where he wants to play and ask him to
Yes.
defend because he's an offensive midfielder. He's not a defensive midfielder saying that. That's the same thing asking your attacking players to be fullbacks. Like then telling them you have the freedom to go ahead. We still the primary role is being defensive, so you're not letting
Xabi
them go ahead
Alonso
and
is
expand.
asking Vinicius to track back. Xabi Alonso is going to Vinicius and saying, yo, motherfucker, track back, otherwise you're out of the team.
Yeah.
So it's not like you cannot say that the best player does not have to do defensive work. I agree, it's a bad situation. Yes, it would have been better if he had gotten a central midfielder. But Amorim has to then figure out some solution.
Yeah.
He's playing the best players that he has right now. Injuries and other things are going to play a part. You don't have enough games to play everyone. He'll sink or swim based on that. But I don't think that this is like the
I think the
decision
best
that is going to fail.
I think the best analogy you can give over here is that Bruno at Cam versus Bruno in central midfield can play there, sure. I think the same comparison is McTominay as MVP at Napoli playing a position that was his natural position as opposed to the McTominay that was ridiculed at United as part of McFred. And I think that's the difference you see. Sure, he can play there, but it's nowhere near his best position. And I think it's a loss for the team if he can't play in a position where he has more attacking influence.
Hmm.
So one thing here,
There
I
are
think we
people
should
to take up
consider.
his slack.
Yeah, I think we
Like
need to
I
consider one more thing here, right? That Bruno playing at cam, of course, like is can be debated that can he be played at center midfield and all. But we have to also consider he's playing alongside Casemiro. He's not like he's playing alongside a player which has legs, which is able to, do all the dirty work as he does his offensive work. So I think it kind of adds up to that situation, and that's where I want Amorim to be more aware, that hey, you're playing
I
alongside
don't.
this guy.
I think
That's not gonna
I
work.
think
So
he is aware. He wanted us midfielder. I don't know why Ineos didn't go for it. Like why they were so fixated with
Yeah,
Baleba and
Baleno, man. We needed Baleno to happen.
no, but like
पैसा कहाँ है भाई?
there were other cheaper options also, right? Like Stiller is there. Anderson.
Hulman.
Yeah, so I think,
Hjulmand.
yeah,
I
Hulman
mean, we didn't have a buyback
apparently.
on McTominay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it would be the same problem again. No? You're taking McTominay and playing him in the position that you don't want him to be in. There was, yeah, Hulman, but a lot of people, based on what I had read, the scouting, they said that he was great for the Portuguese league level, but they struggled to see him making the jump up to the Premier League.
Oh, much like Amorim.
Much like Amorim, I suppose you could say.
Mhm.
Stiller, again, we don't know too much about. I think, again, comes back to the why Ole was so hell-bent on we want to sign Declan Rice, because we've just not solved that dynamic midfielder problem for a decade
No,
now.
no.
Where we've just every season somehow we come to this point and we are like, but we need, if we found one ball carrying midfielder who has legs and defensive ability, all our problems would be solved. And uh, since the Ferguson era ended, we had Carrick. We've tried to replace him with how many? We thought Schneiderlin was the problem, was the solution. He was not. We thought Schweinsteiger is the solution. He was not. We thought Ander Herrera was the solution. He was a great midfielder, but not the solution to the problem that we had. Pogba was supposed to be the solution. He was not. So we
Matic.
have just.
Anderson.
Anderson was supposed to
Fernandes.
be so again Fernandes. So like we've kept signing the two midfielders that you need. Now we've kept signing one midfielder 50 times instead of
Yeah.
signing this midfielder.
And
Uh,
that's what he wants Mainu to be, right? Like that's what
but
he
I
came
don't
out
think
last
he
season.
can be that. No, like can you
Why not?
expect
He's
Roy Keane
young,
to
right?
become Paul Scholes? It's a very
No, but
different skill set.
the difference is that 18 years and Roy Keane being above, right? You can mold them, right? Right at the
But
start.
then that's the manager's job to do that, no?
No, that's what he's doing. Like that's what he said, right? Like he's not there at like well, that's what he said even last season also. Like people think that he's perfect right now. He's not. He still has learning to do. That's
No,
I
what
think that's what
100%.
happens with
like,
the United. Like, oh, you see all the posters and all that. I think the problem with that is you also like come with like
Skip my cat.
inflated expectations of like, oh, I'm a youth player at United. I must be playing because that's like the United way of doing things. And then you end up with players with almost inflated egos of like, oh, I get a couple of performances. There's so much coverage of what I did, like how I'm clearly better than the manager doesn't know anything and I should be playing. Like I think there
Like
is
the
an
recent
element
manager
of that. Like
says, like the
Yeah, but
Barcelona
is
manager
Ugarte
recently
injured?
said, egos destroy careers.
Ugarte is okay, but I think so. Again, going back to like Bruno Casemiro playing together, Bruno and Casemiro played together against Arsenal and like played really well. And when Ugarte came on, like everything went to shit.
But
So
I think
there is a
there's a very simple solution to the Bruno problem, which is a win-win for everyone. I think you just play three number 10s, play one striker, play someone like a Kante or a Matic in midfield, and play four at the back. So I don't
but we
think
don't have a Kante or a
Yeah, Kante
Matic.
or
We don't
Matic.
have a
चाहिए अभी
like
होता तो
again
ले
that's
लेते
all
ना
like
maybe in the long term, that's the solution where you play Bruno, Mbuemo, Kone all together and play a Sesko in front of them. So you get all your you get the best out of
I
all.
mean
The thing
long
is, you
term
can't plan
now.
a long-term midfield at all, no, at this point, because
Yeah.
Bruno is 30, Casemiro is
yeah.
33. So now, again, there are theories that they're like, okay, we are grooming Kobe to be the next Bruno, and then we buy the next midfielder to complement whatever he becomes. There are those theories also. But now, if the player, if you have this process in your mind, ki haan, ye karenge, Kobe is going to be the guy in 2 years, but then Kobe is only so unhappy that he decides that he wants to leave, then what do you do there? So you got to manage everything.
But that's like
And
Do
if
you
you're
think
grooming
Kobe?
him, yeah,
Do
go
you
ahead.
think Kobe is just being so agitated because it's a World Cup year, and more so that than anything
Of
else.
Yes.
course,
'Cause
no, it
he wants to,
drops him
yeah.
down. Yeah, because this is the guy who's played in a major international final and then suddenly sees his playing time curtailed and suddenly has a manager who comes and says, I'm not going to. It's a very bad comparison to make, but if like suddenly somebody said कि अरे ये लमीन मस्त किया एक दो सीजन बट थोड़ा अभी अभी रफीनिया का टाइम चल रहा है तो let him sit on the bench and watch Rafinha for a few months. It's if a player is hot, you gotta capitalize on it, I feel.
But Azim, you're comparing
India-
Rafinha to Bruno,
No,
right? Bruno.
Huh. No,
No, I
sorry,
think
I
it's
read that.
Rashford. Rashford is going to make him bench actually, not Rafinha. Rashford will play off the right, guys.
I agree with both. Barcelona should play Rashford only and no one else.
I think Barca fans are already annoyed with Rashford based on
No,
whatever
Arey,
he's
I
done.
heard theories they want to send him back already.
Yeah.
नहीं window
Yeah, have
बंद
you
window
ever
बंद
seen him?
Window
fax
Have you
machine
ever
छुपा लो
seen?
नहीं
No
fax
return.
machine
5
छुपा
मिलियन
लो
आएगा
नहीं
5
मिलेगा
मिलियन आएगा हमारे पास भेजो भेजो वापस
You
This
should,
is
you
our
should send him
entire
to
scam
play.
now. We are chipkawing players on loan and getting cancellation fee.
You should see
No,
him
no,
play
We
in
just
La
need
Anthony
a
was
Liga
crying,
volcano in
against
no?
Iceland.
Monaco.
All flights are gone.
अब
Okay,
ओनाना
last
का ऐसा करना
question.
चाहिए ओनाना give for 10 million but if you to send him back 20 million
Yeah,
You should do
great
the
idea.
Chelsea
Agreed.
thing.
Agreed.
Like how
obligation
they
10 send
cancel.
back 20
Okay, last question. Okay, if in the unlikely scenario or likely scenario, depending on where you are in this debate, Amorim gets sacked, who comes in? I'll
Oh,
quickly
God.
just tell you a few people that I have found on the internet who are out of work currently. Some of them you can straight up laugh at and be like, "ये तो नहीं होने वाला है." Starting with Zinedine Zidane,
Not happening.
learning English to
Jurgen
say no
Jurgen Klopp.
वो तो नहीं
Not
आएगा.
happening.
Now here's where it starts getting interesting. Xavi.
Nahi.
No
Right?
pepperoni nipples. No pepperoni nipples.
No,
Also
Pepper.
Too
impossible.
much.
No, I don't
Why
judge a
would you do
manager
too
by
much
his
work?
nipples.
Here's
If
a
India rejected him, we
manager.
don't want it.
Here's a manager Venki can vouch for. Roberto Mancini. Come on,
नहीं
stylish
नहीं,
manager
World Cup
wearing
जाएगा.
scarf. Come on,
World Cup जाएगा वो तो.
Cannot.
cannot. Now it gets weird. Edin Terzic. No. Luciano Spalletti.
No.
Nay, too Italian.
Too Italian.
Too Italian. I can just see us playing one Catenaccio, which I'm like, I don't think is what I want to see.
Speaking of
And
Italians, I think
both are these all
this
like
would be
out
the
of work managers
yeah, I think so. I mean, at least according to this.
Well, the two
Okay.
main elephant in the room managers you haven't brought up.
Oh, oh. Do we see a return of ETH?
No.
Oh, there's-
Ole and Jose.
Yeah.
Ole and Jose.
Yeah.
I would take. Honestly, I would take Ole back.
Ole, I
there's
would
a
take.
fourth I didn't realize this but
No,
Carrick was
man.
also sacked by Boro
Who? Oh,
And-
Carrick also is sacked. Okay, so everybody who we thought was like this guy is a solution now currently unemployed.
What about
Carrick was sacked
McKenna
before
sacked
this
also?
and Baskar Paglu?
good question
No,
Ooh,
man.
Good
Ange.
question.
Ange is interesting.
I think
we
I
might
would take
would
him.
rate
Who
would
else?
rate
Get
I
a
have-
supporter. We
I
might
would
get
take
a
Iraola.
supporter.
I have
away out
I
of
would
it.
I have a
really
feeling
take Iraola.
Pochettino would get sacked
What
by
about
US,
eyebrow?
and either him or Southgate will come.
Poch would be good yes
Southgate.
Poch
Poch will get sacked by
Iraola.
US very fast.
I mean even if it
Where
doesn't
is
happen,
Poch right now?
I'm not sure.
US
He's in
national
US
team.
national
US
team.
national team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How
who
about this?
lost to South Korea
How about we wait for Julian Nagelsmann to get sacked eventually? What about that?
I mean
He's the
Poch
most
might
hipster
get sacked
manager.
before that like
He's
USA
Poch
just
is
lost to
definitely
South
going.
Korea
Oof. Yeah, so I mean, so basically
lost
now
every match.
United are waiting for other people to get sacked.
Yeah.
Is that where we are at?
It's just like one
I think
sack watch.
that's the
I
ideal
would take
scenario.
Ole.
Sack Amorim at the moment, hire Ole as the interim manager, see how he goes until the World Cup, and hire the best manager who gets knocked out of the
No,
World
no.
Cup because they'll be looking
we
for
shouldn't sign
Hey.
Ole I think we should sign like Ole ka time ho gaya we should sign Carrick then Carrick will win a few games and we'll say Carrick's at the wheel
Oh.
Yeah.
make him full-time
Okay,
manager
let me put it this way. Which ex player did you like who you would just like to see on the touchline for some time?
Wayne
Rooney.
Rooney.
Wayne Rooney.
Oh my lord.
Long
Just
See,
for
time.
Wayne
fun.
Rooney is going to give you vibes, but what
Just for
tactics he's going to
vibes.
come up with, I don't understand.
Bro, did you
What?
see
You don't
that?
need
Just
And all
wishful
tactics.
like
thinking.
proper.
Did you see that clip of Tom Brady and Wayne Rooney?
Yeah.
What is this?
Where
No.
Tom Brady is like, I don't think this guy knows what he's talking about.
What,
Yeah.
Rooney?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I
Rooney
think
is, like he's trying to explain tactics to him, but I think the accent or something came in the way. Or it was just the general, हाँ फिर वो आगे जाएगा वो पीछे जाएगा समझ गया that classic.
No, Brady fired Rooney, right? They're having a fight
Yeah.
from Birmingham.
Yeah.
I think
Ah,
Carrick
like,
would be
Wow.
good. Like Carrick would actually know the player he needs to sign to play his role finally.
Which would be him only. I think he'll only be like, guys, let's do dude. This is, I think, building on what somebody had said. Guys, Mourinho as manager, Ole as assistant, Carrick and Amorim play midfield. It's all sorted, guys. It's done.
Was done.
It's
And
done.
Van der Sar goalkeeping coach.
Van der Sar comes in. I think final
Yeah,
question: what do we make of the goalkeeping situation?
अरे यार.
Onana going no
I-
to Trabzonspor, verbal agreement and all. I heard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope.
Player agreement not done yet.
but there is no buy option.
That's okay. At least for 1 year, we don't have to see him.
Hmm.
I don't
But
think
I
Onana
think
is
he'll
going to
do
go.
well.
He has,
The problem is
I
Onana
think
now
Onana
has
will
the
reject
ball.
the loan.
Yeah, Onana has the
No,
ball
I
and
think
he'll
Onana
counter
will
this.
reject the loan. Yeah, he's going to stay at United till December. He's going to go for AFCON, use it as a training and go to the
But
World
in
Cup.
fact,
He
I
doesn't want to
think
go and play.
no. But I think he must be thinking of it from the POV of I have to be playing. So go to Trabzonspor, play so that
Yeah.
you can then get into the Cameroon team.
I think that's
See,
that's
getting to
that's
Cameroon
worse for
team.
him.
What?
Yeah, I think if he starts playing consistently for the next 1 year, he might be dropped from the Cameroon team. I think it's better off to have his legacy intact, be on the bench,
Oh,
don't
that's a
play.
good idea. So he's like, I need to go wherever I don't get to play, so that the Cameroon team can't see me.
Yeah, like Cameroon doesn't need a Turkish league goalkeeper. They need a Manchester United goalkeeper to come in and fill in. That carries more.
So I think
fans
Cameroon
love
at
than-
this point exploring to see if Bayandar can become Cameroonian.
I don't think Cameroon has strong second choice goalkeepers. Onana is pretty much
No.
in. Don't worry about it.
No,
If-
but
if you
last
open
time he got
Cameroon-
sent home na for doing all nakra. He got sacked from the team mid-tournament only.
My
Onana.
God. Horrifying.
Both the keepers are named Simon, actually. The Cameroon, the next two keepers, both of them are named Simon.
कोई भी चल जाएगा उसमें क्या.
Very nice. Very cool. Are they also ball playing keepers who come out as sweepers and play excessively? And do their defenders then have to tell them, Simon, go back? Sorry, that's my time.
I was actually chatting about this on the Oil Money group about like Donnarumma at City is going to be so interesting because Donnarumma is so bad with his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pep
It's not just
only
that.
plays.
Like he also doesn't come out for crosses. So I don't know
Like his
why
shot
in
stopping
PPL.
capability is also not that good in terms of statistics. He has given a few good performance in Champions League. I think that has what
No, I
glazed
think he's
him
a
over
good.
because
He's a really like. I think he's JKIS
Yeah.
in terms of saving and all that.
He
but,
won the
like,
Euros. He had a good performance at the Euros. I
Yeah.
think that's a sign that they're planning for life after Pep because
Yeah.
like he
This
looks
is
tired.
not a Pep
He's-
keeper at all. This is not like
not
like
at
for
all.
all the
Yeah.
position that Pep does. He like Joe Hart was I think one of the best in the world when he was like shipped
Yeah.
off from City because he just like doesn't play with his feet.
So
Yeah.
how long
Like,
of a
yeah,
contract Pep
Bichara.
has left? I think he's almost over, right?
2
1
years.
year.
He extended for a
He
couple of
extended,
years. I think.
extended,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Also,
Cool.
another far-fetched
Dude,
theory is
his-
I think Atletico has spent a lot of money in the recent years, and I think Simeone, if he doesn't win anything substantial this season, he might also be sacked. So I think he's also someone I would like to see in the Premier League.
Oh yeah. At United,
Dude.
I think it'll be fun. I think
Not
he can
United.
fix everything.
Also, I don't
What if
think
you have
United
no
should.
second interest in getting Simeone out of the La Liga?
Come on, guys. Just think about it. वो जिम को मारेगा यार.
I don't think United
I
should
think
look
the-
into only like free managers. They still have the pull to like pull Eddie Howe from Newcastle or someone like at the end of the
Yeah.
season.
Instead of
They
Zabi,
should
let's
not
get
just
Zabi.
look for free managers. They still
Xavi, I
have
think
some
is a
Zabi
good
alone.
idea. Yeah?
न्यूकासल
Zabi.
को ही
Zabi तो
छोड़ो
वैसे-
भाई अभी जख्म अभी वो
Zabi
काट रहे
won't
हैं
come
छोड़ो ना
back.
यार उनको
Okay,
Xavi
so
तो वैसे
we have
sack होने
no
वाला है इस बार.
consensus on who next.
Conte.
So one last
It's gonna
question:
be
was
Southgate too.
Was Onana always this bad? He was part of a great Ajax team. He played Champions League finals with Inter. Was
Just
he
can't deal
always
with the
this
pressure.
bad?
Mentality. I think
I
we.
think it's mentality.
Can't believe he was Barca academy, man.
No, and I mean, basically being a United player is basically finding out how many memes you can take before you also break.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
just
and the problem
That's
with
why
Onana
Amorim
is
is.
that
That's why Amorim now will work out, because he's like, no, y'all don't. I make memes for you. I make my own memes in press conference.
Amor meme.
Amor
I'm
meme.
more-
Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
I think yeah, great debate. Still reach no consensus, like every good debate.
But
So
like I think I want to just say to Amorin out people, just give 10 games. After that, you can say whatever you want.
Ruben
Like
10 games.
After that, we'll join you.
Yeah.
after that, we'll join you.
Yeah. I am
Or
looking
you'll
forward
join
to
us.
that, guys. Thank you.
Or you will join us, one of the two.
No,
Yeah.
or
No,
you will
no.
join us.
Can I tell you from personal experience? Everyone who is hammer out, just wait 10 games. I promise you, your time will come. Just wait 10 games.
ये कौतुक ना सच में कभी भी
like क्या
कोई
पलटी
भी
मारता है, क्या
अबे
पलटी मारता है।
हर बार कोई नया मैनेजर आएगा आई एम ऑल फॉर हिम 5 गेम बाद आउट
He's
think-
anyway
I think
Chelsea
that-
fan now.
See,
Real
this is
Madrid
this is
mentality.
the
bottle है ये.
this is the
Ten
luxury
Hag being
you can
said.
take. This is the luxury you can take when you are an outsider looking in. So
Ten Hag being
but
said really
Kautuk, yeah.
broke Kautuk.
तो झाबी का भी आएगा टाइम, तू टेंशन मत ले।
I agree.
अलेक्जेंडर उसको सैक करवाएगा, देख लिख के
I agree.
लिख के
No, but I'll tell you what.
Madrid कर भी
Trent
देगा,
will be
Madrid
like,
को
why am I
खाते
not
हैं,
playing?
Madrid doesn't care.
I will say this though. I will say this about this particular debate. I thought it was really good. Like I had a really good time listening to every single point, because I think everyone made like there was the perfect mix of like opinions and stats and facts and everything. So it was like really good. And surprisingly, everyone got to speak without shouting. Well done.
Yes.
वो अभी टेलीग्राम पे होगा
This is
रुको,
not
रुको.
Republic
हाँ.
TV.
Yes, and of course, just as a quick advertisement, if you would like to be part of these conversations, you can also join Oil Money Group and enjoy the constant raging and ranting that happens in a far less civil manner than this.
Yeah.
But yes, cool,
But we
amazing.
all agree, right? Arteta out.
Arteta out. Yes, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
general
Yeah,
That's
consensus.
the
Is
one thing we
Arteta
agree.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
His
Then
seventh
Arteta
season
out.
is worse than Game of Thrones.
In fairness, lot more violence in the box in Arteta's 7th season.
But no
Okay.
goal.
वो पर स्ट्रीम पे जो बात चल रही थी वो लाइक आई हर्ड द स्ट्रीम आफ्टरवर्ड्स, ये चालू था। तुषार के कोई पॉइंट्स मेरे को ये लग रहे थे कि अरे यार ये क्यों ऐसे क्यों बोल रहा है ऐसे, लाइक सम ऑफ हिज पॉइंट्स अबाउट आर्टेटा वाज सो लाइक इट्स लाइक दिख रहा है कि क्वालिटी नीचे नीचे जा रही है, एंड ही से कि नहीं वैसे नहीं है, ही इज adapting to the game. I don't think so he's adapting to the game.
I think
He just
Arteta
wants-
out, Simeone in now as next Arsenal manager. He has all the criminals in there to make it work.
And the style matches.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think one last controversial question for the United
no.
fans. Would you prefer Arsenal winning the league or Liverpool? Like,
Oh,
because
great.
Liverpool, they overtake us in
City.
terms of
लिवरपूल अभी आदत पड़ गई है कि ये लिवरपूल
City,
फैंस का
Let
City,
Chelsea
City,
win.
City.
Arsenal.
City.
Arsenal.
I would say City.
actually
Where is
City
City?
is the most
Pep
City
one
is
last
most
chance.
preferable always.
Chelsea.
Up to
Arsenal.
Chelsea. I'm with you, Akash. Chelsea. You guys win.
Yeah.
Arsenal चाहिए
अरे
मेरे
क्या
को।
scam है यार
Arsenal-
Chelsea.
नहीं I think Liverpool I'm used to the Liverpool fans वाला pain now, so I
Or-
would
But
go
there's
with
no
Liverpool.
Arsenal pain only now. Arsenal का situation has become वही Liverpool का कि 20 years nothing. There's no fans anymore. There's no cockiness, nothing.
No, then you'll see they'll
No.
all start coming out in
Yes,
February.
there are fans. You're not hearing them
Exactly.
right now. That's the difference.
वो लोग बहुत ऐसा मार के उनका ऐसा फालूदा हो गया है।
And you want to
follow
wake them up.
AFC,
Yeah.
And-
Oh, by the way, Akshay, I had something for you.
it's
अरे
blurred
बाबा.
again.
Blur हो गया।
हाँ ठीक है. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to
Thank
say,
you,
if
thank you.
anybody's in US, I have 2 442 shirts that I can ship. Hala
अरे क्या
Madrid
बात है,
and-
we have illegal deals also being happening.
Contraband.
I got all sizes.
Loan deal
I got all
चल रहा है.
sizes.
This is why we ran out of stock to sell in India. Apurva has taken everything and run away and selling in black.
Right.
साइज क्या है अपूर्वा?
मीडियम है मेरे को, सॉरी लार्ज है, मेरे को लार्ज नहीं आ रहा, so if you want
मैं
I can send.
लार्ज मेरे को भेज फिर।
या मैसेज कर देना टेलीग्राम पे.
सही है।
चलेगा।
Okay,
What's
cool.
the deal agreement for?
So 3-year loan with obligation to buy.
This feels like a better negotiation than United, man. So it's like
If you return
अरे
40
यार ये
back.
वापस आ गया.
मेरे जनवरी में तो भेज दूंगा वापस मैं $10 भेज के।
Yeah.
Okay, chalo, we'll let all the US folks go to sleep. Thanks for coming in, everyone, and we'll cut this video and
Yes.
make it allow everybody to watch this week. And for everybody who is watching this week, if you're in Mumbai, we are doing United versus Chelsea screening, where you'll see a few people from this group also who will be coming for the screening. So please,
ये आजिम स्ट्रीम कर पाएगा क्या इसके लिए?
I'd
All
have to
members.
go and recce the venue. It's this Veda Factory, so it's actually like a black box theater where they do like movie screenings and stuff. Because we've struggled to find a venue which had like that sort of bar vibe that would not cost an arm and a leg. तो यहाँ पे बस वो इंटरनेट का देखना पड़ेगा. If we can stream, I have the setup to stream the panel. तो I'll try. But because I have a show immediately before that to run across and do it may not be feasible. But I'll have my equipment with me, so I'll try.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Chalo, goodbye, friends. I think we can all do
Nice.
this together. Thank you for watching The Four, Kautuk,
The 4.
and everybody else.
Two.
Two.
Wonderful, amazing. Chalo, see you guys.